Good morning. Good morning. Hope everyone's doing well. Make sure to smash the like button. Appreciate everyone doing that as soon as they get in. RPM's got it. Thank you, RPM. Just finished getting everything set up here. Okay, it looks like we're good to go. And we've got a pretty good sized move going on with XRP, so we'll jump right into that as long as I stop messing up my live stream. Okay, here we go. And there we go. We're making a move up right now, $2.26. Clearly just had a big vertical candle coming in this morning. And we'll be taking a look at this throughout the stream today. Looks like we've really got some momentum coming in. I'm not really sure where this is coming from right now. Seems a bit of like a just, hey, XRP feels like moving right now, so it's moving. One of the things people are always kind of looking to do is try to figure out why something is moving. What is the narrative? Like, what is the catalyst? And this is a great example of no really defined catalyst I've seen so far yet. My X stream doesn't work. I remember this being an issue last time. Weird. That's so annoying. I don't know what's up with that. I see the X stream popping up. But you're right. It looks like the X live stream is not working. Looks to be an X issue, but that's all right. We got everyone here on YouTube. Hopefully the people on X figure out that that's not working. I'm not going to bother to spin it back up. Just bring more people into YouTube, I guess. I'll just put a comment on my live stream post. X. Cool. Just got that comment off, so appreciate people for pointing that out. I don't know what's up with I don't know what's up with X, but whatever. I wonder if something's going on with the broader market. I'm just not seeing any I'm just not seeing any news right now.
To cross the threshold that it
yeah, no. Just interesting. A lot of news coming out actually that you would think would not be counterproductive, which is a lot of the Israel-Iran news seems to be dominating CNBC right now. You would think that would be more of a negative catalyst, but we'll tune in real quick and see if they're saying anything interesting here that's productive.
in relatively short order, and I think it's reasonable to fear that that will be the big Iranian takeaway from the events of the last week, which, you know, we have to acknowledge are still ongoing.
So you were the deputy NSA, National Security Advisor. Do you think that Israel could take out Fordo without U.S. assistance?
Well, I would say that in order to deliver a crippling strike on the facilities, I think it's commonly believed that this would require U.S. military direct assistance. However, there are other ways that Fordo might be crippled, and the Israelis certainly are very creative and entrepreneurial when it comes to this. There's some speculation that maybe they could collapse the entrance of Fordo, or they could basically disintermediate it from power sources. They could seal it in some way. So I think in order to really penetrate the mountain that Fordo is in would likely require U.S. Military capability. But I wouldn't say that's the only way that maybe Fordo could be rendered unoperational. This, again, is really the big question that we should all be looking at in the coming days.
I guess my question is, if the U.S. allowed Israel to take these steps and to put Iran in the position where you say Tehran now may actually be.
It doesn't look like there's anything overly interesting going on there. A lot of analysis of the Israel situation. One thing that is interesting, I guess, is this. I haven't made too much sense of it. We'll check out Glassnode specifically, but looks like XRP is really pulling ahead of Solana in terms of realized market cap gains. We're really seeing a lot of institutional flow into XRP over Solana and retaining those gains a lot better. So a lot more capital is coming into XRP than Solana right now, and it's really holding a lot of those gains that it's creating. I'm really curious sort of what is going on in terms of the capital inflows on XRP right now, because clearly we saw a pretty large injection of capital into XRP this morning that caused this big spike. Oh, CoinGlass is what I want to take a look at. Yeah, CoinGlass should have a pretty decent look of where this spike of in XRP is really coming from right now. So I'm guessing it's the spot market that we want to take a look at. Yeah, it looks like we're going through a small but pretty powerful inflow right now on XRP. I think we're looking at, take a look over the last 6 hours. Yeah, a big spike this morning, about 26 million, which is crazy that 26 million can cause such a dramatic difference. But we're really switching off a lot of the sell pressure, and we see a decent amount of buy pressure come in. So if we can continue to have more buy pressure come in here, more net inflows on XRP, which it looks like we're starting to ramp up on, we're going to be in a very, very, very solid place. We had a lot of net inflows over the past couple of months, and then sort of just as we kind of reached this next tier of XRP, obviously a lot of outflows came in as well, as some people who have been holding on for a while probably took some profits, but we're seeing those net inflows starting to ramp back up a little bit here. It's going to be really interesting to see how this continues over the next couple of days. Clearly, people think there's some catalyst coming here, or think it's just a good time to reallocate to XRP. People are asking to turn up the volume. Hopefully that is a little better here. Some people are saying the Judge Torres decision. Most things that I'm reading up on think the Judge Torres's new decision won't come along until at some point next week or the week after. So it's possible we could get that sooner. But for most things I'm seeing, I don't know. That's so weird. Everyone's saying mic low. I mean, I see it like pretty much hitting the maximum. It might have just been because the CNBC audio is loud, but this is where my mic volume always is. Rate cuts Wednesday, very possible that we see rate cuts, but the market's not forcing the Federal Reserve to cut rates right now. The market's assuming rates won't be cut. So the Federal Reserve is kind of getting away right now with not having a lot of pressure on them to actually cut rates. Let's see what else we got going on here. It's funny, normally you would expect to see a lot coming in terms of just like news and catalysts, but it seems like this pump is sort of catching a decent amount of people off guard here right now. Since this morning, we've had a little bit of a stall out, but we'll go to a more micro time frame to take a look at this thing. Let's drop down to the 5-minute. So here's the 5-minute chart. Let's see if XRP can kind of reverse back up. Guys, make sure to check out Genesee Nutrition. Member of the XRP community, started up the company, former basketball player, some of the best protein bars I've ever had. So just shout out to him. Wanted to help him out, get everything up and running. He makes some great stuff, and I've been eating it constantly, and just wanted to be able to share it on the stream. So many people do like different financial services level kind of stuff, and just wanted to give him a shout out. I thought it was a really cool thing, and as a member of the XRP community, love to be able to help people out. Last night from Air Force One, Trump threatened a new round of tariffs. Yeah, and it seems like the market's sort of shaking that off. I saw that same exact thing, and the market moves in phases. And right now, I think what you're seeing is the market so far has looked at the tariffs and said, hey, well, there's been a lot of media fear around tariffs, but there hasn't been a lot that's actually materialized from the tariffs. We haven't seen a lot of economic downturn. We haven't seen a lot of inflation come back. So I think the market right now is saying, all right, well, even if there is more tariffs, it's not like anything has happened from the first round of tariffs in terms of markets. So maybe the market's just generally less worried about the idea of tariffs coming in. Unknown from India. Good to have you. Tracy, let me see if I can find that article. I have not seen that yet, so I just want to make sure that's legit. Yeah, I do see them highlighting the XRP ledger. Interesting. I've got to look a bit more into that. I've seen that floating around for a little bit now. I do see Jungle Inc. picked up on it, and he's normally pretty diligent about researching that kind of stuff. So I'll have to take another look at that. But yeah, no, it does look like there is some involvement or some kind of fund associated with the WEF working on the XRP ledger, which is very interesting to see. What is interesting is right before this recent spike, or the spike we're watching this morning, I did see this come over the finish line, which is a massive spike on the XRP ledger in terms of payment volume, from 295 million XRP popping up to 4.11 billion XRP in a single day. So it seems like right before this pump, there was a huge spike in payment volume. I'm wondering if another corridor just came live and there's some accumulation of XRP for liquidity purposes. It's interesting that right before this pump we've seen, you've had a huge increase in the amount of payments happening on the XRP ledger. Maybe that's just a coincidence, but I did see this last night, and it was interesting to wake up to XRP kind of going on this pump right here. Live pump, time to short. Yeah, we can turn this into an Alex Cobb effect. So far, I've had pretty decent luck. Typically, when I jump on these streams, we got pretty decent luck in terms of market direction. And it looks like right now we're just coming back up to some of these points and consolidating after closing this gap. So it looks like we've been able to close this entire gap right here, which is very positive. Come back up and get back to this kind of neutral zone. So I'd expect to hopefully hold up here before making that next move up. But we did clear a pretty big gap here, which is very good news. Kind of just shot right out of here. Now we're reconsolidating back at this previous support. And hopefully we can find this right here and start moving up to those higher levels. But everything looks really good. We're still sort of in like that longer term range bound pattern we've been stuck in. But if you take a look at a long term time frame, and we haven't been doing that a lot recently, so let's take a look at that. And of course, I have the wrong XRP price chart to be able to look at that. I will never understand why TradingView charts don't have the entire price history on them. But if we take a look at what's happening on a monthly scale, this might be one of the most bullish charts in all of crypto. We take a look at what's happening on a monthly chart, we can see that XRP is just consolidating on a monthly time frame right on these previous all-time highs. I mean, if you just want the simplest chart ever to be able to look at, I mean, this thing is absolutely beautiful. You're watching XRP right now just consolidate right above those all-time highs on the monthly scale and ramp upwards, right? And it's ramping up too. You can see it putting in higher and higher closes on the month as it kind of gears up for that next kind of big move and big spike upwards. So I think we're getting close to that. Seems like to me we're still chopping around in the weeds a little bit here, still trying to find that momentum and that big push or that big catalyst to kind of send it. But all these smaller moves we're watching all help to develop out these monthly candles that are looking really, really bullish. This is some crazy news that just came across the finish line. Was not expecting to see this. So it looks like Tron is planning to go public and form a MicroStrategy type company with Eric Trump. Interesting. I was not expecting to see something like this. I'm surprised Tron is the one in the spotlight here. Tron just doesn't seem like something to me that really that many people are paying attention to, but interesting to have a Tron like MicroStrategy type company. I barely hear anything about Tron when it comes down to like the institutional market, so I'm surprised there's even like a desire to do something like this. But interesting nevertheless. Thought I'd throw it up here. Tron to go public in via reverse merger. Yeah, we'll see how this one goes. Not overly optimistic on Tron itself, but I know they have a lot of stablecoin volumes. Maybe that's enough. Yeah, Tron to go public in reverse merger. In a MicroStrategy like company. Bizarre. Bizarre. All right. Apparently the news headlines and the catalysts seem to be kicking. I do see more people saying that they expect a decision from George Soros today. I don't see that. Ripple and the SEC just put their motions in. I don't think we're going to see that decision today. Could be wrong. I don't see that happening. All right, that seems to be the biggest piece of news that's really just breaking right now. A lot of people are like, huh? Tron? MicroStrategy like company? That's going to be so interesting to see how that works out. Wow. Truth Social has applied for Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. Yep, I did see that. once again, kind of weird to even see the Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs by Trump's company. It's just a funny business to want to get into. It seems like the Bitcoin market's pretty saturated already. I'm really interested to see what their inflows on those type of products are going to be. And I also wonder if they're going to just be spot holding ETFs, or they're going to have some different strategy going on for those ETFs. A lot of questions going on, and sort of like, because Truth Social obviously kind of came out with their idea of doing cryptocurrency stuff, but we're yet to really see what those cryptocurrency things they're going to be doing are. It's just kind of like right now the idea of doing stuff with cryptocurrency. So I'm really interested to see how that materializes and like what their game plan is to kind of differentiate themselves. Like, is it just going to be another Bitcoin or Solana ETF, or is there going to be something like unique or special about it, is what I'm curious on. Looks like XRP is trying to reverse and keep the momentum back upwards. This next candle is probably going to be pretty interesting in seeing if that takes place. If we can get up and close above the previous green candle on the 5-minute, we should be in a pretty decent spot. So we'll take a look at that real quick and see what happens here. Obviously, you want to see XRP keep the momentum going this morning, keep the pump going. I know a lot of people were pointing out the news of the Judge Torres stuff. Don't see anything that makes me think we would see a Judge Torres decision today. See what else we got going on. Not a whole lot. Let's check out XRP to Bitcoin this morning, I guess. XRP BTC. We're gonna zoom out on this one a little bit. I think if we go to the daily chart, we can get a good chart going. Yeah, we're seeing a little spike on XRP to BTC right now. We got to get above this level right here for it to really get some level of a reversal going. So that's what we're watching on XRP to BTC. Kind of just holding the bottom support lines right now and looking to regain momentum against Bitcoin. I thought they said the 16th was her decision. Let me take a look. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe her decision is today. Nothing I saw indicated the 16th. Yeah, I don't think there's any specific date where Judge Torres is locked into making that decision. I would be shocked if it happened today, guys. She has until the 16th. Everyone is saying the 17th. I see quite a different thing, couple different things floating around. Let's see. Maybe John Deaton has commented on it. There was a 60-day extension that led us to June 16th. Okay, but wasn't that for Ripple and for the SEC to file their updated motion? Like, I'm pretty sure that was for Ripple and the SEC to file their updated motion, which they just filed. Like, Ripple and the SEC just filed a new document. The news is I don't think it's today, but I know Fred Rispoli commented on this. I'll go to Fred Rispoli. Yeah, we got it right here. There's no firm date. So Fred Rispoli says right here, we should hear from Judge Torres within the next 2 weeks. He said that June 12th. So within the next 2 weeks from June 12th would be at some point this week or the next week. I think that's what I'm going. Yeah, Fred said 2 weeks. I don't think she's going to have her decision 4 days after the file was put in. So that's where I stand right now on this. Looks like we still got some time. I don't think this is going to come out today. It could come out whenever. I think it's up to Judge Torres' discretion. But the idea that she would turn that out instantaneously, I don't think that would really align with sort of how she's been ruling on things thus far. She's taken her time on pretty much about everything. The 17th is the ETF deadline. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I think Judge Torres is going to take 2 weeks for sure. I don't have any question about that. No problem. No problem. I just don't want everyone expecting it to happen today, right? And then like be worried when nothing happens or there's no filing. Ripple and the SEC had a deadline to get their new order to Judge Torres in, and now Judge Torres has her time to make a ruling on that. So we're just waiting for Judge Torres to come out with something. I do think the ETF has a good chance of just getting delayed. I do. I think the ETF will probably get delayed again. I always put my expectations on the ETFs going live mid to late summer. I still stick with those expectations. I think the ETFs are just going to keep getting delayed. There's always these timelines, right? In terms of like when orders are due, but whenever the government's involved, you can just add 2 months to it. Yeah, you'll continue to see them pushing through those, pushing back those ETFs, but I do think they're going to go live this summer. So funny to read the headlines, Tron to go public. Tron to go public just sounds so funny. A lot of people recording big volume pickups on XRP. I'm curious what that's looking like right now on CoinMarketCap. Volume. Yeah, pretty decent kick up. Nothing overly crazy here, but kind of just going with the market spike, so nothing overly exciting happening on that front. Payment volume up is up a ton. Yeah, payment volume is up a ton. A ton going on with payment volume right now, which is very exciting to see. I'm just looking to see if anything else is coming over the finish line. Good morning, everyone. Hi. Nice climb to watch. One eye last night on XRP. Yeah, absolutely. Good morning from Australia. Martin, good to see you. RPM. Tracy. Silver Days. Good to see you, Silver Days. Ancient Fact says, can I ask why BlackRock, Meta, Micro buying up BTC and ETH like crazy and no XRP? Well, a lot of these people, you have to understand, are still very new to crypto. A lot of these people are still figuring it out. So like a lot of us, when we first got involved in crypto, we started with Bitcoin and some of these other things like Ethereum and all kinds of other projects. And then we learned more about crypto and we realized, oh, wait, maybe this isn't how we want to do this. Believe it or not, institutions are going to take the same pathway. Like it seems like they would just know what they should be getting involved in, but I actually don't think it's that simple. I think a lot of financial institutions are going to kind of get lost a bit, and it's going to take them a little bit to figure out sort of where they want to be allocated in this space and what the true utility is. So just remember, we're kind of like the experts when it comes to the XRP side of things, and we're very early into cryptocurrency adoption, but I think they're going to come around very quickly. And you're already seeing that. You're already seeing XRP treasury companies start coming out. You're seeing a lot of financial institutions issuing assets on the XRP ledger. We just saw USDC coming to the XRP ledger. I think it's ramping up very, very quickly. Here's an Trump announces plan to launch a new wireless brand called Trump Mobile. Mobile will use phones and services built in America. Very interesting. I wonder if that's like the cryptocurrency thing built in America, where you talk about it being built in America the entire time and then push Ethereum. We'll see. All right, looks like XRP is reversing here, putting in some higher candles, pushing back to 226. So we'll keep an eye on that right now. Justin Sun really making headlines with Tron going public. That's an interesting one. One minute, just checking on something. Okay, yeah, we got some volume coming right back in. There we go. We had a quick little pause out, but it looks like we're back and we're moving. Up to 226. I would not be surprised if we broke back into the 230s today with the kind of volume and momentum we have going on right now. Is this Justin's first time being a CEO? I would think so. He's a pretty young guy. He did start Tron, which is a massive project, so not going to hate him on too much, but I would imagine it was his first time being a CEO. Yeah, when the settlement is accepted, we're done. We're done. So that will be the end of all of this, because that will just be wrapping it all up. And maybe that's what the price is moving to. Maybe for some reason there's some indication that things are going to be positive. Clearly the price is reflecting on something positive, and I've been combing through the news all morning. There's nothing specifically I can point to. always funny too, because a lot of people are always wondering why XRP doesn't move on big catalysts coming in, and now there's no catalyst and XRP is moving. So maybe it's just time to realize that maybe XRP just does its own thing, irrespective of what any given catalyst might be. Here we go, though, pushing back up to 226. Guys, make sure to smash the like button. Keep that momentum for XRP going. And we didn't cause an Alex Cobb crash, so that's good news as well. From the peanut gallery, how many times have you been a CEO? Yeah, exactly. Taurus can rule whenever she wants, right? Yes, there was people earlier who thought there might be a specific date. I don't know. I don't think there's a specific date. I think she can rule whenever she wants. Insider trading / front running. Well, it seems like people are front running something. It seems like people are definitely getting excited about something. There's a lot of volume coming in right now, and XRP has been kind of on a huge tear this morning. But there might be some crazy stuff going on with Truflation. Maybe that's causing this. No? I don't know. I don't know. All right, guys, I'm going to cut it off here for now. Guys, thank you so much for coming this morning. We'll see how XRP continues to react throughout the day. Maybe we'll get some big catalysts and this was front running, or the market's just getting excited about crypto with a lot of the negative catalysts being avoided here. Looks like we should have a pretty interesting day. XRP seems to be keeping its momentum here. Guys, thank you so much. I hope everyone has a great rest.